Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles, and I welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And boy, oh boy, we have an episode for you guys today, so make sure you stick around for this one. Now, let me get into it. I know this is starting to sound like a broken record. I know a lot of you are like, man, we've been here already. But I think it's very important that we discuss this topic again because it's very relevant. It's very relevant. As we currently speak, Giannis Antetokounmpo is the reigning finals MVP, not of 2 years ago, just of last season. But by the way he's been covered by big media this entire season, you would never know that because they haven't been giving this guy much attention, period, end of story. We here on our channel, we've done a numerous amount of segments on the guy, but you know, we're one channel, right? We're a small platform, so how many videos can we produce a day? But if you're talking about big media, these guys have news, sports news running 24 hours. So they have ample time, enough human resources, and enough capital to talk about whatever they want to talk about, at least a little bit. And it seems as if this thing that I've been complaining about and others is something that finally got to Jay Williams, who is an employee of ESPN. Just yesterday, he was on the morning radio show with Max Kellerman and Keyshawn Johnson. And it seemed as if Jay Williams finally reached his breaking point on this entire matter. So before we go too far, I want you guys to take a listen to Jay Williams basically brutally calling out the media for the lack of coverage of Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks. Take a listen to his comments here, and we're going to come back and give you guys our thoughts. Take a listen to that there.
The best team is the Milwaukee Bucks, and I think it starts to become a little bit ridiculous that people love to discredit what Milwaukee did last year, taking into fact COVID, injuries, all this stuff. It seems like there are a lot of excuses around it. And I'm getting to this point now where I'm looking at Giannis and I'm saying, are you the most disrespected superstar of this generation? Because it feels like people are always trying to knock him. He's not as sexy as a Joel Embiid, or he's not doing the way Kevin Durant has done it. The dude is a 6-time All-Star, 5-time All-NBA, 2-time MVP, an NBA champion at 27 years old, had 50 points, 14 rebounds in Game 6 of the NBA Finals, plays through injuries, is always there, always plays every single night, it feels like, and it just feels like he's a constant. And we always look over him because it's not the hot thing to talk about at the moment. But why aren't we talking about the defending NBA champions with the same kind of energy we talk about other teams with? That's a big question I have.
You got to think about it back to last year, Jay, as I was telling you when this conversation came up before. You had the same kind of, conversation about Milwaukee and Giannis. And one of the things that I said, there's no disrespect to Giannis. You got to remember, it's Milwaukee. I hate to say it that way.
The market, you're saying.
It's the market. It's not New York and the Nets. It's not Chicago. It's not L.A. It's not Miami. And if it was Giannis in those different places,
Giannis the Knicks, in other words, would be a big deal.
Yeah. Patrick Mahomes plays for Kansas City.
Well,
yeah, but it's the National Football League.
But that's a market.
And he's a quarterback.
It's a smaller market.
Yes, but
Aaron Rodgers plays for Green Bay.
But Jay, he's a quarterback in the National Football League.
I understand, Keith.
Totally
the
different.
Of the football league.
Totally
I get
different.
That.
Totally different.
KD was a massive superstar in OKC.
KD was an MVP.
So Giannis is a 2-time MVP.
But hold on. But he also had Westbrook. He also had Harden, and they also had Snack, Crackle, Pop, and Flash. It was a different thing. And KD came from Texas.
What?
It's from D.C. It's a totally different thing. Now, you go.
Key, this is what I'm talking about, Key. This is what we start doing. Like, you're exactly what I'm talking about. We start, small market team, and Giannis came from Greece, and KD came from Texas. We just start making up these silly excuses.
But it's not making it up. If it was making it up, we wouldn't even be having this conversation, big dog. We're not making it up. It's in front of us.
But that's what I just don't understand. It's like I get it. LeBron is one of the greatest players to ever live. I understand how we're going to have a lot of segments about LeBron James. But like Joel Embiid's in Philly.
Let me quickly say this. Jay Williams is not the only one in big media that has expressed their frustration with the lack of coverage that Giannis Antetokounmpo has been getting this season. Shannon Sharp, we did a video on this about a month ago, where he basically called out the media on ESPN on Undisputed, where he was just like, what is going on? Why do people look for every reason to not give Giannis Antetokounmpo his credit? So Shannon Sharp has also been on the Giannis Antetokounmpo band. He's been championing Giannis's accomplishments and asking why doesn't he get enough coverage? But let's get back to the soundbite. During that exchange between the three people, Keyshawn Johnson brought up a very interesting point. He said, Giannis isn't getting the coverage that other athletes are getting because of the market that he is playing in. I gotta call BS. I gotta call BS on that, and I'll tell you why. When LeBron James was playing in Cleveland, Ohio. Now, for those of you who are from the States, y'all know this is no disrespect to Ohio. Come on, come on. What are the major cities in the States? What are the ones that we're all talking about? When you want to go on vacation, I said, where are you going? New York, Miami, LA, Florida. I mean, not Florida, Orlando, probably Virginia. Like, we all know the places, Las Vegas. We all know the places where all the fun and the excitement is in the United States. Ohio ain't one of them. This is no disrespect, but we all know this. This is common knowledge, not a diss. This is common knowledge. So, if LeBron was getting all of that coverage in Cleveland, Ohio, how the hell can we use that as a reason for Giannis not getting coverage because he's in Milwaukee? Help me understand that. They're similar markets, but LeBron was getting covered every single day. And some will say the reason LeBron was getting all that coverage is because he's the face of the NBA. What's wrong with you? Don't you? I mean, can't you understand? Can't you understand why? The reason they were covering him so much was because of the face of the NBA. Let me ask you guys a question. Who has been the more dominant player over the last 4 years in the NBA? Has it been LeBron James or has it been Giannis Antetokounmpo? That's a rhetorical question. We all know it's been Giannis. Over the last 4 years, Giannis's 4-year stretch alone could put him in a Hall of Fame. He could have a Hall of Fame career just off of that. In the last 4 years, this guy has made all defensive teams. He's made all NBA teams, first teams. He's made all-star teams. He's won 2 back-to-back regular season MVPs. He won a Defensive Player of the Year award. I think he even won an All-Star Game MVP in that stretch, if I'm not mistaken. And he won a Finals MVP. And he had one of the single greatest closeout game performances in an NBA Finals you are ever going to see in your lifetime. Period. End of story. And you're telling me that if LeBron can get coverage while he was in Cleveland, and you can say he's the face of the league, then why isn't Giannis the face of the NBA? Because off of accomplishments alone, in the last 4 years, LeBron has not been anywhere close to Giannis. This is not disrespect. This is a pure fact. Yes, they both won one championship in the last 4 years, but who's been the most dominant? Look at the numbers. Look at the accomplishments. Now you can say, well, it's LeBron's age, but we're dealing with what's actually happening in the last 4 years, and I think it's clear to see that this has nothing to do with accomplishments on the court. It has everything to do with preferential treatment, who we decide, and favoritism, who we like and who we don't like. When we like somebody, we can look for all of the reasons to make excuses for them. When we don't like somebody, we can look for all of the reasons we don't want to give them. We don't want to give them props. If these two guys were applying for the same job position, LeBron should not be the one to get employed. But it seems as if he's the one that's getting employed, while the other guy is more qualified. And that's what Jay Williams was talking about. There's no good reason for the lack of media coverage that Giannis Antetokounmpo is getting. It's one of the reasons why whenever we produce Giannis or Bucks content, these people are like, the supporters of that team, come on, just keep doubting us. Keep doubting us. Keep doubting us. Jay Williams brings up a good point. When I brought it up, some people say, oh, you're trying to stir up some nationalism versus, Americans versus the foreigners. So what's Jay Williams doing? He's asking the obvious question, which is, what the hell is going on?